Hi, good evening, everybody. I hope you are well on this bright, sunny Friday evening. I hope that you've had a decent week and that you're ready for a relax on Friday evening and the weekend. I'm Heather, Heather Wright, and I am founder of Reading Rocks and partner. And this evening is all about sharing with you our new service that we are excited about. And hopefully I can explain to you lots and lots about it, and you can find out more on whether it is any good for your school. I'm sure you're going to find what I've got to share interesting. I'm going to keep it as succinct and efficient as I can. And if you need to ask further questions, I will let you know about ways that you can do that at the end. So without further ado, shall we get cracking? So the Pupil Premium Grant service. So the story of this service began with a school approaching us. They are one of the trial schools that I will talk about earlier on, Hurst Hill. They approached us and they've been thinking about providing books for many of their pupils in receipt of their Pupil Premium Grant funding. They had a bit of an idea of what that was going to look like for them, what they wanted it to be, and came to us and said, can you help us out? So, of course, supplying books to schools, my little heart raced and I got excited. And got my thinking cap on and thought about what it was, why it was required, and how we could provide that service in the best way. Were we the right people to do it? So Reading Rocks is built on the basis of making reading rock for every pupil. And you'll be familiar with some of our services, our subscription that we offer to engage pupils in exciting new reading books, because we believe firmly in the research, the power of books and of reading, the impact that it can have on children's lives, on their mental health and their well-being, on their engagement and their achievements at school and through their life. So, but in particular for this, we're looking at research about pupils owning their own books. And there's quite a bit from the National Literacy Trust that are looked at. There's some from Scholastic and from Book Trust. And it really got me kind of thinking and focused on the need for pupils to own their new books. And many of you as educators will be fortunate that you can have your own children will have plenty of books in the home, and you will see the benefits of that. So let's look at what happens if pupils do have their own books. So these are some of the key findings from the Literacy Trust report about owning books. So compared to children who don't have books of their own, children who own books are 6 times more likely to read above the level expected for their age. Brilliant. They're nearly 3 times more likely to enjoy reading. And we know the benefits of reading for pleasure and the impact that that can have. And they're more than twice as likely to agree that reading is cool, or whatever word they use to say cool. But they're more than likely to say that it is something to make a choice to do. And that's what we want from them, isn't it? So that's what children who have books in the home can benefit from. The tip side to this is about, the children that don't have those books, and actually the disadvantaged children, typically those children who are in receipt of the Pupil Premium Grant, are more likely, not certain, but more likely than their peers to not own a book. You may well have seen where it was World Book Day, some of their social posts that were sharing that actually 1 in 8 disadvantaged pupils don't own have a book of their own to call their own. So for us at Reading Rocks, it was like, okay, yes, this is a service that we want to provide, and we can see the benefits of it. in terms of academic achievement, in terms of mental health and family engagement in pupils' school life. We also looked at some of the EEF research, and it kind of sharpened what I was thinking about the service that we wanted to provide, that it wasn't just one book or one book pack that we were sharing with them, and that it wasn't generic, but the books that were carefully selected, and they were selected to match where a pupil was at with their reading, and to engage them, and that this was something that they could use to build up a collection of books. So it wasn't just one book, but they felt like a book owner. And that, I think, is something that's particular to the service that makes it beneficial, that these pupils can feel that they are readers. They see themselves as book owners. So our service, you sign up for an academic year, so that pupils will receive book packs throughout the time in that particular year group, and they can build their own library to call their own. So for the trial, we had the school initially that got in touch with us. I'm just going to shift my leg so I don't get a dead leg. And we also engaged 4 other schools that were going to join us, and they approached it in different ways, which was interesting for us to look at the impact from that way. So one school selected a specific year group. You're going to hear from that school, Carclays, and they decided that year 4 was the year group they particularly wanted to target, and they tell you about the reasons for that. So there was just one year group for them. Another school, Marine Academy, they just selected 5 pupils that they wanted to give it a try with. We had 2 schools that went for the whole school, and they went for the option with magazines included. So I'll talk to you about the different options a little bit further on. And then we had our initial contact school, Hurst Hill, decided to go for purely books in that service. So you can see that we had a range of schools across the country, a range of age ranges, including one of the schools that went for the magazine option, that include from the nursery upwards to year 6. So you can see the breadth of books that we have provided, and the amount of children that we've been able to get feedback from to see the benefits of the service, and also to help us tweak it and make it the best that it can be, so that it's ready to roll out to lots and lots of you lovely schools who are listening. So this is just from some of the schools that joined us. You can see that they put it into their Pupil Premium strategy. There is evidence to back this service, and if you go forward with this and you would like some help to put it into your plan for next academic year, we can help you with that. But there is evidence to support this. So the purpose of the service, the Pupil Premium Grant book service, fits in with our mission at Reading Rocks, and that's why we're really, really keen to share it with everybody. So we really, really want to bring engagement and excitement in books to pupils, and particularly pupils who might not be switched onto it yet, might not have found their genre or, the book bug, or might have found it a particular, or might continue to find it a struggle. They might be slogging at their phonics. We want to bring that engagement and that excitement so we can get them over that hump, so that they really nurture a reading for pleasure culture and can reap all the benefits of that. We really want to provide quality and diversity. The books that we provide are all chosen by me, and I use my expertise and my connections with industry to make sure that what is being sent out is absolutely cracking. That's what we aim for. They are quality books that introduce your pupils to a range of authors and genres. They are diverse. They reflect realities. And we do not offer boys packs and girls packs. They are deliberately chosen to be non-gender specific. So they will have female and male protagonists on them. And we have found that we've had a really great response to that, something that we did make sure that we asked our trial schools. So you know that you're going to get amazing books, and you know that they are going to reflect the world that your pupils live in. The books are chosen to match pupils' reading age, approximately. So when they get their books, they will match the data that you send to us. So that pupils, even if they're reading above their chronological age or below, they're not going to get the generic book for that year group and find it too easy or too hard. Hopefully, we have found a book that they can read and enjoy and talk about and engage with and share. We wanted to make sure that this is easy for you. I taught for 15 years. I am in and out of lots of schools all of the time. I know how hard you work. I know how busy you are. I know how much you've got on your plate. So part of our purpose at Reading Rocks is just to help you overcome some of those barriers so that we can help you distribute these easily and effectively. So when they're delivered, they are labelled clearly and they're in year group boxes so that you can make sure that you give those out in the quickest and most efficient way possible. You don't have to put lots of time into that. And we really want to engage with your families. We can talk about a couple of ways that can be done, but that's the purpose of this service. So I hope you're feeling excited about that service. So here's the product. Here's what it is. This is what it looks like. So there's 2 options that you can sign up for. So following our trial, we have decided that they will be delivered half-termly. So there are actually going to be 5 deliveries, with the first one being in October and then the next one being in December, so you can see how it falls. This is so that pupils, they're getting 2 great books every month. It was a little bit quick for some of those pupils, so and when we do it like this, it makes it as cost effective for you as a school as possible. So option 1 is where pupils will receive 2 books and a magazine. And the magazine changes each time. We use lots of different excellent publications, and you'll see some images of those as we go throughout so you can get an idea. So 2 books. One of the books is brand spanking new, hot off the press. So those children will be getting books that probably their teachers won't have seen already, and they're brand new and exciting. And we think that that's impactful as well, that really provides those pupils with the status of being a reader and having a great, a book owner. These are quality books that other children will be looking at and seeking to read as well. It will give them something to talk about. The second book is a back title, so it might be a couple of years older. This enables us to keep the cost down for you. But all of those books will be selected on their merit, and they will be of good quality. And then the magazine, it will be different each time, so that the pupils can enjoy a range of text types and content. The books are delivered, as you can see in that image, that's taken from our new webpage, which I will share with you later. And if you signed up to hear about this, you will get an email with all the links to help you out with that. So the first delivery arrives excitingly in a Reading Rocks tote bag. We tried this out and the feedback was great from this, so we were going to go ahead again with this for the October delivery. It arrives with a tote, so it's an item that they can keep and cherish and love and keep reusing, and they get a couple of goodies in there, pencils, stickers, those kinds of things that are reading related. The other deliveries arrive in a craft bag, and they are labelled clearly with the child's name, if that's what you provide us, or initials, and their year group, And then we use a code on them just so that when we're packing those books, because we have lots of different books to pack, but the children won't have a clue. It's not decipherable for them to figure out what that means in terms of what books have been selected for them. The books are always wrapped up in our signature colours, some orange and purple tissue paper. So it's really exciting. It's like getting a present. The buzz and the adrenaline and those feelings of excitement are all there, building towards that anticipation and that engagement with books and with reading. For option 1, and that's £15 per book bag. And the delivery is all included in that, and they are sent in big boxes to arrive at school for you to distribute easily. And if you look at that in terms of next year's Pupil Premium Grant for one pupil's annual allocated funding, and this service is less than 6% of that funding. That's if you choose to go for the magazine option. If you choose to go for option 2, it's just books. You can see that that's £60 a year for one pupil, so that's less than 5%. And the only difference is they don't have the magazine. They get both of those exciting books that are really excellent to read and get them excited. There we go. So there are the pupils with their Reading Rocks tote bags that they can continue to use throughout the year to carry their books in and out of school. And you'll hear one pupil tell us a little bit about that. There are different ways to use this service. So this school used it as a bit of a club, so the bag kind of helps with that as well. So I've talked quite a bit about it, but you know I think it's going to be great. But what do the pupils think? Let's have a look at what the pupils think. So here's some of the quotes from one of our schools. So from Hurst Hill, Year 2 pupil, I like getting the purple wrapping off it. So you can see that the children are excited and engaged with that kind of present aspect of it. I like that it helps me read more. That kind of effect of when children feel good about it and they know, and it goes up and up, they like that it helps them read more and they feel successful and they feel like a reader. Another Year 2, I like that you can get new books in your range and the truck ones are the best. I love it when you get feedback from pupils which is really specific and you know that they it really has had an impact. And within their range, pupils have their own ways of telling us that they knew that they can enjoy that book. It's special and exciting to unwrap the book. So again, this is a Year 3 pupil. It's special and it's exciting. Imagine feeling special and excited by what you've been offered. Let's see some videos from some pupils.
And I think these books are really good. Sometimes I go to bed and I'm always like, Mom, can you go and get my bag out of the car? And she's like, yeah, I'll go and get them. It's just because I put my reading rock books in my bag, so then I can read them when I go to bed. And
I like them because they have lots of books in there and they have comics in there.
So you like the magazines best?
Yeah.
Why do you like the magazines best?
Because they have lots of interesting stuff in there,
Like what?
Beth's got one, a weather one.
Hi, my name is Beth, and I really enjoy the books that I'm given, and I also really enjoy the magazines. And my favorite book is the Investigators. I really like it because it's a comic and it's all about mysteries and things, and I really love people trying to find out things, and when you read it you can find out oh, this happened, so this would happen. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Hallie and I like the book bag service because I learn from them and I like reading them to my sister and like reading them to other people. bags because it's just exciting to see what new books I've got. And my favourite book is probably Level Up. When I get my book bags, it makes me read more because I used to not read a lot.
It's nice hearing from the pupils, isn't it? So there we go. So from the horse's mouth, you can see that the pupils really engage with the bags and they get excited, and it's encouraging them to talk and read. So what about the families? Throughout the trial, we've been asking the pupils what they think. We have been asking the families what they think and the school. And we've been trying to make adaptations and tweak it and make it the best that we can. So we included lots of these feedback forms. There were some pupil feedback forms that went in, and we had lots and lots of those back, and I've shared some snippets with you. If you need further feedback, you can ask me about some more of those. But these went in the bag, and these are a really interesting way to get a flavour of what's happening with your pupils and their reading as well. So we can provide these at certain points throughout the year so that you can get a sense of how it's going with your pupils and your families for your school. So here's one of them. So this is from a Year 5 parent. It keeps my child interested in books even more because he sees it as a treat for reading. Thank you, and keep up the good service. It's very much appreciated. I have to say, when some of these came back in, I think there were a few bits of dust in my eyes, shall we say. Some really beautiful comments from parents saying thank you. As from a Year 2 pupil parent, it gives kids more reason to read as they get excited. From a Year 5 parent, my daughter loved it. She loves reading the new books. It's so good for the kids. And a Year 3 family, it helps children to read at home. Thank you so much. And I think the thanks warmed my heart, but the thanks was going to the school and the families really appreciating that support. So when the service begins with your school, we help you with some letters to send out to families to explain it, to encourage them to use it. And we encourage you to continue to do that. Research proves that if you keep encouraging those families, that's going to be really of benefit. I like this one as well. I'm just going to read it out to you from this one. It says, it encourages her to read books that she wouldn't necessarily have chosen herself and discover new authors that she hasn't previously come across. I think this is a fantastic service, and Lily is thoroughly enjoying discovering new material as she reads. So much I struggle to keep up sourcing new books. And I think you will know the pupils who are in receipt of Pupil Premium at your school, that there's a diverse range. Some of them will have no books, some of them will have some, and some of them will have a lot, but their parents might not be able to provide as much as their appetite is desiring. So that's where this service can suit the variations there. So what about the schools? Again, lots of feedback from the schools. This one is from Marine Academy, as is the picture of that pupil. The children have been really excited to receive their books and have often told me about them when they've seen me passing around in school. I think it's also made them feel special that they've been chosen for this. I think it's great that there are also comics included in the bags. So that school appreciating, the children really excited and wanting to talk about their books on the corridor where they pass on the playground. So I'm going to share with you 2 videos now, and these are from 2 of our schools, and you can hear from them their journey with the trial, their kind of worries at the beginning, what it might be or not be, and what it might achieve, and the impact that it's had with pupils and families.
And I'm Simon Pollard, head teacher here at Carclays. We joined in with the Reading Rocks trial after working with Heather from some other book angles, like buying teacher books and getting book lists for us, and that was really successful. And as soon as I saw there was a trial for a Pupil Premium box, I thought, what more can we do to help engage those children into reading? Because they don't necessarily have those books at home. And in the lockdown, we realised that actually some of the children were saying, oh, we can't get to the library, we haven't got books. So we wanted to increase their own personal libraries. And this seemed like a really good way to start trialling that out.
And we had an Open University assignment for Reading for Pleasure, and that's something that I was really passionate about. And for me, it was working on knowledge of authors and how I'd recommend them for the children. And for my class especially, there's a high number of Pupil Premium children and lots of boys who are disengaged in reading. So this seemed like the right opportunity to find something that might work for them. So we've started on a small scale so that we can see what impact it would have on probably one of the toughest classes with their engagement of reading.
And the positivity from the children has been exceptional. You know, they've from the very start, when we said you are part of a club, you are going to be the Reading Rocks Club, they were like, oh, what's this? You know, why am I being chosen? And some of the conversations with parents about, oh, you've chosen my child. So we talked about it being because they've received Pupil Premium, but also just the fact that it will be to support their reading. We've got a real mixture from children who were struggling readers at the start to really high level reading above their reading age children, and Heather's service, because we fed our reading ages to Heather and we updated that as we were going along, that the children have got books. And actually you can see the progress of some of those children who started off with books, and today when they got their most recent book bags, a child held theirs up and said, this is my first thick book that I've got. And they were so pleased to see the progress that they had moved on to that.
Yeah, so initially we started with, so we use Accelerated Reader as our assessment for our reading ages. So we started that in September. So that gave us a good idea of what books the children would have. And then each month we're given a book bag with books that are for their ages. Lots of different novels, lots of different genres, which is lovely. And their faces when they see these books is incredible. I was really concerned at the beginning that when you have reading ages of 13 and reading ages of 6 in one group, what that would do, what impact that would have on some of their confidence. However, it's been lovely to watch that the children who have a lower age are really excited that their friend has the same book as them, and that was really lovely because then you'd hear them sharing it and saying, oh, I want to read this one. There was one about zombies, and the other children had books about witches, but the size of the book didn't faze them. It was more of a collaborative approach in how they would do that. And you know, from a class teacher point of view, when they first started in year 4, reading ages were quite low and reading engagement was really low. Lots of children only knew some authors and were only using the books from our library. So that was really important that they were exposed to more. And I've seen a massive improvement in reading ages alone. So not only has my greater depth reader made 2 years progress, who's now reading at 13 years when she's only 9, but I've also got children who are reading at the age of 6 who have gone up over a year since September. So for me, the progress is across the board, which has been amazing. Engagement wise, majority of the children are engaged and want to come and tell me. So it's not just sort of data, it's the enthusiasm they have as well.
And it's the whole book talk thing as well. So lots of this goes back to the research from the Open University, actually children being able to talk about their books, and when they have got a book that's the same as their friend and they've read it at the same time, they're coming, oh, have you read this bit yet? Have you talked about that? So that's another angle to it. And I think actually next year I would expand it to, you know, we've done it as a trial in 1 year group, but actually just to spread that out amongst all of the Pupil Premium children would be fantastic, a way of doing it. And also I feel like taking them together and turning it into a book group of discussion, a bit more discussion and a bit more time for them to have feedback in between them. Because I think one of the things now is sometimes they come so quickly, because we've been trialling it as one a month, that by the time you've finished the 2 books that you've got and I have the same problem with my reading book subscription. I'm like, I've got to fit these two books and I want to read them before the next ones come. Then actually you're like, oh, here's the next ones, and we haven't had time to like reflect necessarily on those. And it's great because it is making them want to read more books.
Yeah, and my children love bringing the books in, which has been really nice, because some of my class go, why aren't I part of that group? I love to read. And they're really good. They say, oh, well, we're reading them and then we're going to share them with you. So it's been really nice to see them bring them in and put them in their library, but they've put their names in it so that they can take them back home. But yeah, very similar to Simon. I think moving forward, it would be really nice to maybe look at half-termly, even termly, and then have that time to discuss the books with them, because that is sort of the only thing that we found that is a bit too much. The children just love the books, you know, everything aside from that, whether there's a magazine or anything in it, the books are what they want. No matter how they're wrapped, they're beautifully presented, don't get me wrong, but that is all they live for, and a badge.
They do like unwrapping them as well.
Yes, they do. It has to be wrapped up so they can reveal it.
Yeah, definitely. Badge and a sticker. And I think that actually it's turning the tables, because normally we talked a lot about teachers being able to recommend books to children beyond the celebrity authors and the ones that you just see in the supermarket. But actually, the children have got copies of books that the teachers haven't got. So they're the first one there to get them, and they're able to come in and say, have you read this book? You know, and like we were, you in year 4, you read The Girl Who Stole an Elephant.
Yes.
Well, some of them have got The Girl Who Lost a Leopard, which is and by the same author following on, and they're so excited that they can actually read that, and probably before you've seen it and had a look at it. So that's really nice.
That's been really lovely. Yeah, it's nice now that we're starting to know some more authors. Like Simon said, you know, we always have the same authors, which is brilliant, of course it is, but it's exposing me to authors that I've never seen, and it's so lovely because the children know what types of books I like, and they'll come up to me and go, oh, you'll like this one, this one's really dark, so that, and they'll go, oh, actually no, you won't like this one because this one's really funny. So they know already. So it's nice that we're exposing them, and their language and their recommendations just improved massively.
Cool.
A year 5 teacher at Lakeview. I'm in charge of reading and pupil premium. Hi, I'm Vicky Shirtliff. I'm currently a year 5 teacher at Lakeview. I'm in charge of reading and pupil premium, amongst other things, but they're my 2 favourite things to do. I share pupil premium with a colleague, and we were talking over the summer about what we can do with the deficit caused by COVID. And one of the things we noticed with our online learning was a lot of children didn't actually have books at home, which was a bit of a shock to us because we're both book nerds, so we have a lot of books in our homes. But the children, it seemed, when you were saying to them go and get a book to read, they didn't have a book at home. So when we came back, we got talking about what we can do, and we said we wanted some sort of system of getting books out to our pupil premium children. So I spoke to your good self about what was available, because I already use you through Reading Rocks, through some of the Reading Rocks events, and I have the Reading Rocks subscription, and then you offered me the trial. So I spoke to my colleague and we were like, that is exactly what we need. We talked about the magazine option, because obviously that was a different option with each package, and the head teacher was very keen on the magazine, just putting different text types for the children to see. So that's why we decided to go with the 2 books and the magazine. And I know obviously from the Reading Rock subscription myself, I know the quality of books that come out, so I knew they were going to be as good a quality across school, so that's why we chose to do it.
Can you tell us about the first time the bags came, when you had the tote and everything, and what that was like?
I think, to be honest, for me at first it was a bit of a shock to see so many books, because I'm aware that our school is a very high percentage of pupil premium children, but then when you see that in a pile, it makes it really clear and we bought it into the classroom. I think the tote bags added the perfect little bit of excitement to them, because who doesn't love a tote bag? And we took the Pupil Premium children to one side because we didn't want them to feel different. We didn't want it to cause an issue, because that was one of our concerns. But we took them to one side, we gave them their bags, and we explained what they were, and then we explained it was going to happen every month for the rest of the school year, and the children were just blown away. They were so excited. Obviously they loved the fact that the books were wrapped up in tissue paper like little Christmas presents, and I explained to them obviously next time it would be a brown bag, but to be fair, it hasn't dampened it moving into a brown bag. And they all said they keep them in their bag at home, in their tote bag, and we've seen them books appear the next day. All of a sudden all these books just start appearing on desks, and books that they want to have conversations with you about, because they'd already started reading it. And as I've just said, those two girls that were sat together, I was walking through Asda car park and got shouted at through the window as they were waving their books at me. So I knew instantly then we'd done the right thing, because they were so excited.
That's such a great story. It's so nice. It must have proper got you.
I had to walk off and have a bit of a moment, to be honest, because you think, to me, in my house, books are such a big deal. And my two children are very fortunate, because I do buy a lot of books, and that's our thing to do together. And then to have some children that don't have that luxury, and then to see the excitement when they're being given the luxury, and the fact as well that they're being given books that you can't find in Asda and Tesco's, because not a lot of our children go to bookshops. I'm very much an independent bookshop kind of person for my books, but they don't. They will buy a book from Asda or Tesco's, and as good as those books are, they're not the quality of brand new authors or different texts that have been picked by somebody who knows what they're thinking about. It's not your David Walliams and that kind of stuff. It's those quality texts, and they're being introduced to authors that they're coming in inspired by and want to talk to us about. And because I'm aware of a few of the books from reading them myself, it's starting to appear in their writing and their conversations. So it's just magical, to be honest. Yeah. In terms of the engagement, I've been this year. I've been fortunate. I've taught in year 5. I've gone and taught in year 6 until SATs, and then I've come back into year 5. So I've been able to see, and both classes are 12, 13 out of 28 pupil premium children. I think the impact is seeing those children pick those books up, bring those books to school, the care that goes into looking after those books, because they're theirs, which is obviously when you borrow a school book, as much as they look after it, it's a school book, they don't. So it's that care, and it's the engagement in conversations. So look, Mrs. Shirtley, this is what book I've got today, have a look at it. Oh, what do you think of this one? Oh, I know you've read her before. Have you read this one yet? Oh, no, I haven't. So there's been an impact in terms of conversation. There's one girl in year 6 in particular. I've seen every single book that's gone home to her, because they've all appeared at school. One of them, she came up to me and said, if you were teaching year 6 next year, miss, you must do this book, because it's fantastic, which I wouldn't have looked at that book potentially. We've seen a rise in the engagement in terms of signing reading diaries, a rise in engagement from the parents. The magazines are very popular because I think they're just quick, easy reads. And we've seen a rise in terms of the quality of discussion from certain children that wouldn't normally engage in those conversations. So whereas Chloe, the first one you spoke to, she's all about going home and doing her own thing. But actually now she's coming to you and she's talking about books. And then when we do guided reading, she's putting it into her books and she's making suggestions about what we should be talking about. So for her, that's a big deal. She's just a kid that goes home. So, and she's, as you can see, desperate to go for sport because that's where her world lies, is sport. But actually she's getting quite an interest in books, and mum's noticed a difference as well. In terms of the younger children, I've had one parent speak to me because her little boy's mad into Super Potato books, absolutely loves the Super Potato books. But she said by having these books come home every month, she's been able to engage him in new and different books that are just as magical as Super Potato, and it's broadened his horizons, and she's actually getting him to read every day, whereas before he wasn't reading unless it was a Super Potato book. So I think that's a really big deal in year 1 because you start them young and hopefully they'll carry on through school.
If you could say a particular year group, where would you recommend people?
I think if you can, I'll start at the beginning. I'm a big advocate, as one of the reasons why the head put me in charge of reading, of that reading for pleasure and that want to read. And I try and promote that across school. But the thing is, it's all right promoting it in the school, but if it's not being promoted at home because they haven't got the resources to provide the stories, then it's not going to work. And I just think that if you've got those books at home for the parents to engage, they're not having to think about who they're choosing. They're not having to just buy what's available to them. They're being handed two wonderful books that they can share through that month. So I just think if you can get it, if you can afford, I mean, we've been fortunate. We've got in EYFS as well. We've done the whole school, and we've been very lucky at that. And I think it's been money well spent across the board. So the earlier the better that you can afford it, and I think it's absolutely fantastic, because even like with Orange Spoken, he is one of the fortunate ones in terms of there were books in his home, but his mum's commented on the difference of books that are being given to him and books that she wouldn't usually look into, and she wouldn't have entertained him reading, but actually he's really engaged in it. So I think as much as you can, get as many of your children on board. I think my logic with this is, if you can, do it. If it's a way of coming out of your Pupil Premium funding, which at first when you look at the figures, you think, when you look at the chunks of the money, you think, but actually when you break it down per child, the cost per child is only a small portion of your Pupil Premium money, and you can guarantee there's going to be an impact. And I would strongly recommend it to anybody that can do it, because our children have loved it, our staff have commented on it. I get excited when the boxes arrive. I'm just gutted I can't open the tissue paper and have a peek, but I know that I'm really lucky that the kids get to come and tell me all about it. So it's a magical experience. And if you can, then go for it and do it.
I hope that you enjoyed listening to the feedback from those schools, and it really gave you an insight into the benefits of having this service in your school. So what can you expect? Well, we talked about 5 deliveries of books for less than 5% of a pupil's allocated PBG funding. Let me just take you over to our new website, which will be live now as we are live streaming. And here you can see, hopefully, all of the information that you need. So there you go at the top, Pupil Premium Grant Book Service, and we're all about those strong outcomes for our disadvantaged pupils. So how it works. So you can see here that we need you to sign up by the 11th of July. So as soon as this is finished, we will be open to take on board schools. But we are going to close the gates on the 11th of July, or if we get massive amount of numbers, and then we might have to close it earlier than that. But we are going to close it then, just so that we can make sure this first year we can provide all of our schools with an excellent service. Don't worry. Here you can see about invoicing. We deal with lots of schools. We know how schools work, and we will deal with your business manager or your finance team and we will get all invoicing set up and sorted so that runs efficiently, so you can get on with the job of running your schools and your classrooms. We will ask you in September to finalise the numbers. So you might say, well, we're going to sign up 60 pupils. Don't worry if in September 2 of those pupils have left and you've only got 58, or you've had some new enrolments and you've got 65 pupils. That's absolutely fine. Don't worry about that. You can confirm those numbers in September. And that's when we will send you an easy data sheet where you can tell us which year group they're in and their reading age once you've done your initial assessments. And then we will get choosing the books, get packing the books and get sending them out to you. So we had a little look at what your pupils get. So just a reminder, there are 2 options. One is 2 books in a magazine, and option 2 is just the books. And you can see some examples there of the types of books and the types of magazines that we include. And then this bit here is very, very exciting. So as you heard from some of our trial schools, we do listen. They were a little bit worried that it was only the Pupil Premium pupils who were able to have this service. So what we wanted to do is provide an opportunity for you as a school to offer it to all of your pupils. So that's what we set up. So as it says, we're on a mission to make Reading Rock for every child. So now your families have the opportunity. If you choose to have this option, it will be set up for you. You will have letters to send out to all of the families in your school with clear instructions that will direct those families to our website. We will deal with all the administration. We will deal with all the money taking off them. They will tell us who their child is and they will make their payment. We will ask you as school for their reading data so that we can provide books that are suitable for them. And those deliveries will arrive in amongst all of the ones for Pupil Premium children. They will not be differentiated. They will all look completely identical. So those pupils who want to sign up, you don't have to offer that, but that is there for those schools that would like to offer it school-wide. We've got our testimonials on there. So if you want to hear from those schools and those pupils again, you can do. And do check out our blog because we've had a few expert guest bloggers talking about Pupil Premium Grant and different ways that you can use that. Hopefully we've thought of all the questions you're going to ask, and here on the frequently asked questions section you can find out about postage, when they'll arrive, all of those different things. But of course we will still take a question off you. There is a contact form at the bottom and you are most welcome to send us over a question. So things that you need to take away from this. Hopefully you have discovered that this is a service with an impact. And it's from us, a small business with a big heart and lots of expertise. Every order is packed and chosen with care, with expertise and with heart. We send it all off with our love, and we just get so excited knowing that these books are going to pupils and that they're going to be really engaged and excited. This is the key date for you. Sign up by July. Do not be disappointed. Hopefully we've given you time to have discussions with your senior leadership team to look at your budgeting, but please make sure that you sign up using the website and secure your place for your school if this is something that you would like to do for the next academic year. We will ask you to confirm the numbers in September, and your first delivery will be in October. Remember that first delivery is really exciting so that you can plan some exciting ways to kickstart it. They'll get their tote bag and those goodies. That is for all of the children, not just those that school pays for with Pupil Premium funding, but if any parents sign up as well, they will get that exciting first pack. we will provide you with letters for families to support your communication with them, to build your engagement with them. I'm just looking at my notes. Is there anything that I haven't told you? I think the only thing that I need to tell you is that if you feel like you would like a discussion with me, maybe you're watching this as the reading lead, but you'd like your Pupil Premium leader to have a discussion with me, or somebody else from senior leadership, maybe the business manager, to ask about invoicing, then you can book a call with me. So if you were on the email list for information about this, you will be sent contact and a link to book a call with me. If you weren't and you would like that information, just get in touch by the form and we will send you the link so that you can book a call with me, and you can ask any questions that you need answered. In terms of payment, we have two options. We listen to our trial schools who like varying ways. You can pay for each delivery. So you'd pay in October, then you pay in December as those deliveries go out, or you can do it in 2 chunks according to the 2 financial years. So you would make your first payment covering September to March when the financial year closes, and then your next payment coming in April to the end of the school academic year, if that fits with your budgeting better. Again, I can have a chat with your business manager if that helps you. So I'd just like to leave you with a little clip from one of our head teachers when Ofsted discovered our service trial.
Which drew the Ofsted inspector's attention, and there was a bit of excited commotion which drew the Ofsted inspector's attention, and it was one of the most positive parts of the inspection for her, listening to the children talking about their books, seeing what was coming through and seeing the children completely engaged with new books and talking about reading really got them looking at the thread about how reading for pleasure goes through our school.
Thank you, Simon. It's quite exciting when you're running a trial and one of your schools tells you that Ofsted saw it and kind of liked it in action. So that was really nice. Thank you so much. I know it's Friday evening. Thank you if you've been watching live. I really do appreciate your attention. If you're watching on catch up, which I'm sure many of you will, thank you so much. You can comment and we can get back in touch with you that way. But please do share this with people you may think are interested, and have a wonderful evening and keep making reading rock for all of your pupils. Thank you very much.